Hello, story lovers, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying to a time long, long ago when the world was fresh and new to share a beautiful African folk tale that has been passed down through generations. It's a story about light, darkness, pride, and the courage found in the most unexpected of places. This is the bird who stole the sun. In the beginning, the world was a paradise. The sky was a canvas of constant warmth, glowing bright and beautiful every single day. The sun's golden light bathed the forests and plains, and all the animals lived together in joyful harmony. They played under its gentle gaze, their days filled with laughter and contentment. But amidst this happiness, one small bird felt a shadow growing in his heart. He was a magnificent creature with feathers that shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow. He was bright, beautiful, and very, very proud. As he watched the other animals look up to the sky with admiration, a bitter jealousy began to sprout. "It's always the sun," he would chirp angrily to himself, ruffling his vibrant feathers. "Oh, how warm the sun is! Oh, how bright the sun is! Everyone praises the sun, but what about me? Don't they see my beauty? Don't they appreciate my song?" Day after day, his resentment grew, twisting his pride into a dark and selfish desire. He decided that if he couldn't have the admiration he craved, then no one would have the sun they loved. So, one fateful morning, as the first rays of dawn stretched across the land, the little bird put his plan into action. He took a deep breath and launched himself into the air, flying with a determination he had never felt before. He soared higher and higher past the soft, fluffy clouds that drifted lazily in the sky. He flew on, climbing into the blinding, brilliant light of the sun itself. With a swift and audacious move, he snatched the colossal ball of fire. It was incredibly hot, but his jealousy fueled his strength. He clasped the sun tightly and flew back down to the earth as fast as his wings could carry him. He found the tallest, darkest mountain and located a deep, hidden cave within its heart. There, he concealed the sun, hoarding its magnificent light and warmth all for himself. Instantly, a profound and terrifying darkness fell over the entire world. The vibrant greens of the forest faded to gray, and a biting cold crept into the air. The once happy and playful animals stumbled around in the gloom, their eyes wide with fear and confusion. They bumped into trees, tripped over roots, and called out for one another, their voices trembling in the sudden, chilling silence. "Where has the sun gone?" cried the monkeys from the treetops, their chatter now filled with panic. "What has happened to our beautiful day?" whimpered the zebras, huddled together for warmth. The darkness was absolute, a thick blanket that smothered all life and joy. It was Elephant, the wise and mighty leader, who broke the frightened hush. He lifted his trunk and let out a powerful trumpet that echoed through the cold, dark forest. "We must do something," he declared, his voice ringing with authority. "We must find the sun and bring it back." Hearing Elephant's call, Lion, the king of the beasts, emerged from the shadows, his golden mane barely visible. He let out a thunderous roar that shook the ground. "I agree," he bellowed, "but who among us is brave enough to face this unknown darkness? Who will lead the search?" A heavy silence followed Lion's question. The animals looked at each other, their eyes reflecting a deep fear. The mountain where the sun was rumored to be hidden loomed like a monstrous shadow in the distance, a place of unknown dangers. No one, not even the strongest or the swiftest, dared to volunteer. The fear of the darkness was too great. But then, from the back of the anxious crowd, a small, quiet voice spoke up. "I will go," it said, calmly but firmly. All heads turned to see who had spoken. There, at the edge of the gathering, stood Tortoise. He was slow, and his shell was worn with age, but his eyes held a steady and courageous light. The other animals couldn't help but let out a ripple of laughter. "You, Tortoise?" chuckled Hyena. You are the slowest of us all. How could you possibly succeed where the mighty and swift would fail?" But Tortoise was not swayed by their doubt. He simply nodded his ancient head, his resolve unshaken, and began his long, deliberate journey toward the dark mountain. His climb was slow and arduous. He navigated the treacherous, darkened paths with patience, his sturdy shell protecting him from falling rocks and sharp thorns. He moved step by steady step, his mind focused on one single goal: to bring back the light. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Tortoise reached the entrance of the cave. Inside, a soft, warm glow pulsed from the darkness. He crept quietly into the cavern, and there he found him, the proud little bird, perched triumphantly beside the stolen sun. The bird was basking in its golden rays, his feathers looking more brilliant than ever. "Little bird," Tortoise said in his calm, gentle voice. The bird jumped, startled, not having expected any visitors. "The forest is cold and dark," Tortoise continued. "The animals are lost and afraid. Everyone needs the light. Please be kind and return the sun to the sky." The bird puffed out his chest, his pride swelling. "Never," he chirped defiantly. "I was the one clever enough to take it. This warmth, this light, it is all mine now, mine alone." He turned his back on Tortoise, dismissing him completely. But Tortoise was not discouraged. A wise, knowing smile spread across his face. He looked at the bird and said, "I see. If you are strong enough to capture the sun itself, then you must be the strongest and most powerful creature in the entire world." The bird's chest puffed out even further. His vanity was his weakness. He preened and postured, turning to show off his shimmering feathers in the sun's glow, completely absorbed in the praise. "Yes, yes, I am," he boasted, and in that exact moment of distraction, Tortoise acted. With a surprising burst of strength, he pulled his head and limbs into his shell and slammed his hard body against the cave wall. A loud crack echoed through the mountain. The rocks trembled and split apart, creating a massive opening in the side of the cave. The sun, finally free from its prison, burst forth with magnificent power. A brilliant, overwhelming wave of light and warmth flooded the land once more. The little bird screamed in shock and terror as the sudden, intense heat singed his feathers, turning their edges a permanent, brilliant gold. He flew away in a panic, humbled and defeated, never to be so selfish again. Down below, the animals who had been huddled in the cold darkness looked up as the light returned. They blinked, their eyes adjusting to the wonderful brightness. A great cheer erupted across the forest. They danced and sang, celebrating the return of the sun. "The sun is back," they cried with joy. "The world is alive again." They hailed Tortoise as their hero, the slow but brave soul who had saved them all. And so, the world learned a valuable lesson that day, thanks to the little bird and the wise Tortoise. It's a lesson that remains true to this very day. What we keep selfishly for ourselves loses its true meaning and its power to bring joy. The sun, like happiness and kindness, is not meant for one. It shines for all. Thank you so much for joining us for this wonderful story. I hope it brought a little light to your day. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the world of folklore. Until next time, stay curious and keep sharing your light with the world.